All right.
Should we jump into it?
Let's jump into it.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Hi.
Episode 2.
Episode 2 to Ginger Unscripted.
Eagerly awaited by a few of you.
My name is Dorothy.
Hello, I'm Zach.
Hi.
Hello.
How's everybody doing today?
I like this voice that you're...
We'll see. It'll be approximately 10 minutes until I am screeching like a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
So I figure we start off gentle and then I blow out your eardrums momentarily.
You ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Andy Samberg?
Only like an episode.
Oh, okay. They have like their running joke where it's like, instead of that's what she said, they say like, title of your sex tape.
What?
So instead of, like that's what she said joke? Like,
Yeah.
That's what she said. They instead say title of your sex tape. So like if someone said like, be like, it's like every single day I have to take it hard. It's like title of your sex tape. Yeah.
And
so what you just said,
blow
like,
out
we'll start.
your eardrums?
Yeah. I'll start soft and then blow out your eardrums. Title of your sex tape. Which, like, who doesn't love a vocal person in bed?
No comment.
Should we? Oh, I shouldn't talk while I'm moving this.
Get it together, Zach.
I know.
Get it together.
I know.
So, we're here, free rolling things.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited.
You know what phrase I really like, but I'm not allowed to say it?
What?
Oh, hold on. Is every time somebody says, like, I'm here, immediate thought, I'm here, I'm queer, get used to it. And I think that's, like, just such a good turn of phrase. But I'm not queer. So I feel like I can't use it, but I want to. Whenever I'm like, oh, I'm here, my brain, if I don't stop it, just immediately goes, I'm queer. And then people are going to be like, are you? And be like, aren't we all a little bit? No, I'm not.
Well,
maybe.
In my humble opinion, I give you full permission to just let it loose.
Yeah, as
But just do so with the expectation that everybody will then assume.
Yeah.
Most
Well, my understanding of the word queer is that it's just like it's an umbrella, so it it encompasses everything.
Yeah.
But I only like to have sex with women, so I feel like I don't get to use that word. And but I am like attracted to men, but not sexually. Like there are some men that maybe that doesn't count. Like that I just find so beautiful, and like the thought of like an asexual relationship, like just having a best buddy dude, and we get to pal around, and like I love buff men. You know what I mean? Like I think if I was with a man, I'd want the buffest one, and like
Oh yeah.
I like deep massages. Like when a girl gives me a massage, I'm always like, hey, come on.
So when you go to massage places, you're like, give me the buffest dude. That's
I've only had one massage before, and it was a Thai massage.
Why have you only had one massage before?
I just look at me.
That's not.
Look, I feel like I dress so like today specifically. I knew I wore a flannel last time, but it's like it's my go-to. Like I don't want to wear anything.
Now you have to wear flannel every single time
Nick
we
Miller.
film an episode. Very Nick Miller.
I love this mug, by the way.
Thank you.
It's a
I
friend's
got a Friendsgiving package of like Thanksgiving friend stuff. Yeah, that was fun. Something.
I was just making sure our levels are good.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah,
very
if
good.
you guys are just listening in and not watching, no context for you on that.
No context at all. Zach just staring off into the distance.
So welcome everybody. If this is your first time being introduced to us, like we said, this is Dorothy Mannine, the fantastic Zach Cowan, also known as Cowman. And this is our podcast, like lifestyle podcast. Really, our objective is to we love each other and we love talking, and we're like, let's do that together.
Yeah.
And you guys can listen to us while you're at work, while you're sleeping, while you're having a midlife crisis. It really works.
Especially that.
Anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully we give you a laugh or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a great question.
Yeah, and we're just gonna jump right in.
We're gonna
we like to ask each other's questions, and we encourage all of the tangents.
Tell us. What is the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen in your life?
That's a good one. I feel like I know what website you got this from. Like I feel like did you Google like great questions to ask your friends?
Okay, I Googled silly questions
okay.
to ask your friends.
Because I've definitely done this on stream before. Like let me start keeping track of like our tangents.
Oh yeah, because
like anytime we think of something,
we have a tendency
we can come back
to completely lose train of thought.
Because I want to talk about Twitch later. But a best Wi-Fi name? I mean,
are we out of focus?
You want to try again?
No.
Okay.
I feel like we're there. We're back.
Yeah, that feels right.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
best Wi-Fi name?
Yeah.
I feel like the top of mind one right now is like Bill Nye, something Wi-Fi. Bill Y, the science fire.
That's funny.
I'm a fan of just like loading ... So like people don't think it's a Wi-Fi name. They think it's just like loading.
Huh. Clever.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. Do you have one that was really good?
I saw Dunder Mifflin.
Oh, okay.
Naturally, that's my favorite that I've seen.
So between which of these have you seen? You've seen The Office.
Yes.
You've seen Friends.
Yes.
Seen Seinfeld.
Yes.
Seen Parks and Rec.
One episode, couldn't get into it.
Seen New Girl.
Of course. A bazillion
Okay.
times.
What would be your number one? Gun to your head.
Also, Abbott Elementary. If you
Oh,
haven't-
so
my
good.
God, so good.
So good.
So
You see the second season?
Of course. I
Okay.
blazed through both seasons and like
blazed.
blazed.
Sorry. Dorothy doesn't do drugs, guys.
No.
She's like on the up and up. Look at this is a onesie. This is a romper. This is like summer in the Hamptons. Like you've given up your life of debauchery. I clearly am still very much in the throes of that and mental illness, and we love this for you. It's like this side of the couch flourishing. This side of the couch, call your mother,
Debauchery.
dude. Yeah.
Debauchery. Wait, what were we talking about?
Gun to your head, those shows.
It's so
Or
hard.
you can rank them if you like.
It's hard because I do rewatch New Girl and The Office.
Great comfort shows.
Eventually, like after it's been enough time,
Yeah.
I rewatch.
Who's your favorite character in The Office?
Probably Steve Carell. I mean,
Yeah,
I just
he's
feel
the
like
best.
he just, and
He's
he
so
actually
good.
reminds me a lot of my dad.
Really?
The way, okay,
Are
so
you
he kinda
attracted to
looks
Steve
like my
Carell?
dad. No, God, what is wrong?
What? You know?
What is wrong?
A lot of people will find partners that are like similar to their parents.
No, but he actually looks a lot like my dad, but not just that. The way my dad delivers jokes
Is kinda-
identical
Yeah. Okay.
to Steve Carell. I don't know if my dad's ever watched The Office.
Yeah, let's call him up.
He would love this, but he would talk for the rest of the podcast
You know,
episode.
I have a few friends that are like they like listen to it and they're like, just let me know when. But I'm like, I don't know. I guess we'd have to put him right here.
Yeah, just hang out
But
right in the center.
we're episode 2. We know we had some audio issues. Episode 1, we are not the most tech savvy people,
No.
so thank you for joining us. But we're hoping this time it's going to be better.
I still feel like I'm seeing us out of focus, but I can't tell if my eyes are just blurry.
Yeah, I can't either.
I have, with the lights, my eyes.
Do you
just
have
might be
does your
going
camera
hazy.
have like an autofocus setting?
It did, but I put it on something that
Got
seemed
it.
like it was making us out of focus.
What about the one that like my camera it's like a click to focus, so you click it and
Yeah.
then it like has a little area that you
Yeah.
move into and it focus. Is that what we're
I
currently
had
doing?
that, but I felt like it kept moving. Us
Got
But
it.
anyways, I
Do you want me to manually focus it on you?
No, I feel like it's fine right
I
now.
think we're okay.
Maybe my eyes are
And
just
imagine like what
deceiving me.
No, I think
don't
you're
know.
right. You do.
I think it's good right now.
Okay.
But then I feel like the moment I say that, then it goes
Okay.
wrong.
We'll
Anyways.
we'll skip this
So
part
what's
maybe.
the best? You said the Wi-Fi Bill Nye for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, sitcoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Abbott Elementary is up there.
It's so good.
I already am planning when I'm rewatching it. I just need to give it at least, I would say, a month before I go back.
Yeah.
And watch it.
Yeah.
What about you? Gun
Like,
to your head.
favorite
what's
of
the-
those
What's
shows?
the best?
That's tough because I feel like there are some that like maybe I think are maybe like objectively a better show, but then there are shows that I'll just like rewatch.
Yeah.
So I will not rewatch The Office. Like I'll rewatch that like maybe like once every other year.
Okay.
But like New Girl and Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
I can just put on in the background all the time.
Yeah.
I also really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. I should give it a fair
And
shot.
like Archer and like Bob's Burgers. Like those are kind of all in the same like
How do you feel about Family Guy?
It's okay. I used to watch one as a kid.
Yeah? When you were
Yeah.
a kid?
Yeah, Family Guy's been around for like ever.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, how young were you watching Family Guy?
Probably like 10.
10.
When do you think the
They
first
didn't
episode?
even let me watch Family Guy until I was like,
Yeah, I was pretty. I had kind of like unrestricted access to like internet and
Everything.
shows and stuff. And it's like my dad's hard line was like nudity. So as long as I wasn't doing that, and like, don't get me wrong, like he caught me watching porn when I was like 12, and I was like, you'd think I would have like killed a cat, but like that's my dad. Like he's like love the guy, but he's like a moral compass guy. Like he's like no drinks before you're 21. Like pornography is bad.
By the books.
Which like I agree. I don't think porn is like a good thing for anybody unless it's audio porn. Unless you are working with an ethical company, preferably female led. Shout out Quinn.
Go ahead, Zach, on Quinn.
Like you guys would like if anybody didn't know here, but I make smut. Which is, we're on strike right now. How you doing with the strike?
Considering I'm still non-union, there's still plenty of stuff that I can be doing in the meanwhile, But I'm just fascinated to see how long it rolls out for.
Yeah, what's your thought on that?
Like,
how do you think? How long you think it's going to take?
I don't know.
I just saw a thing that the WGA is resuming talks.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see, because
it's been months.
Oh, I think it's been like over 100 days. I think they just hit 100 days.
That's a really long.
I know. Well, this is the first time both the WGA and SAG have been on strike in 60 years.
Yeah.
So I just tell everybody, they're like, how things going? And it's like, it's so nice for me to just be like, well, I'm on strike. But it's like, because I'm a union actor, but it's not like I was working consistently before that anyway. But now I get to be like, I'm on strike. And people are like, oh, God, are you all right? Like I got my hair cut and I went to this like curly hair specialist, Donatella. Of
Versace?
Yeah, right. Yeah, Miss Versace.
Yeah, Miss Versace cuts hair.
And she's I think it's Curls 1-to-1. It's in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
But we were talking about it, and she was like, "Oh, you're on strike," and she like gave me a 20% discount. And I was like, "You really don't have to do that."
That's great.
But no, I love her. She's gonna be cutting my hair for the rest of my life. It was my first time getting a curly cut.
Oh.
Which is like they cut it dry, like because you shouldn't wet curls.
Yeah.
And like
sense.
did the whole like. I shook my head upside down.
Yeah.
Do that.
Do the whole diffuser
and she like
thing.
styled it, and they put me in one of the spaceship
nice
things.
Little cone. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great.
Felt like an astronaut.
Yeah, I felt
great.
super cool, and I was like, oh, this is so nice.
That.
And she was so sweet. She's from New York.
Oh.
Or lived in New York. I think she's from Bulgaria or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
nice.
Phenomenal lady.
Sounds like a lovely lady.
Yeah. Should we just take turns asking each other things?
Yeah.
So
I felt like there was a train of thought that never got completed. But yeah,
the
so
shows,
like New Girls in the background.
Yeah, probably New Girl if I had to pick
and
one.
Family Guy. You started watching when you were 10.
Oh yes, yeah. Unrestricted access. So I used to watch. So like, we didn't have like we didn't have any of the like premium channels growing up. Like we were middle class, but more so because my parents like made like smart financial decisions. Because they both came from like kind of humble beginnings.
Okay.
So to speak. Like my dad's the youngest of 8. My mother is like the oldest of 4, and like anyways. So they've always been like very, very good about money. But one of the things like my dad is, because he's a frugal guy, is like is in the military, like no HBO, no Showtime, none of that. But growing up, for anyone that knows, there's something called IFC, the Independent Film Channel. Now it's like revamped and like a whole thing. But it used to just be a random channel, like underneath all the premium channels, and they would just play indie movies. And it was always the weirdest movies. Like I think there's a movie with like Joaquin Phoenix and like Keira Knightley or something called like Quill. And they're like in a monastery. They're like priests and monks, but like they have all this sexual tension. I think there's this other movie called like Sherry, and it's with it's not with Johnny Depp, but it's with like a Johnny Depp type character. But it's essentially about like a cougar in like the Victorian age or whatever age, and she like takes on this like man child who's like early 20s, who's been spoiled his whole life.
Okay.
And they begin this like weird mother-son sexual relationship, and spoilers, she like kills herself in the end of it. And like so I was just watching like really, really weird films from like age like 6 and up. So I'd be like 8 watching this movie, and I often think like what that did to me.
Yeah. What impact did that leave on Zach's?
Do you have any things like that? Like anything you watched as a kid and look back, you're like, I shouldn't have watched that.
You know what's interesting is I actually feel like I didn't watch a lot of stuff as a kid. Like
you were outside playing,
I was like
riding your bike.
Real childhood.
Yeah.
No, my household was always more of a gaming household.
Got it.
I grew up with my brothers always
Is this in
gaming.
Jersey or Florida?
Jersey, I was only there till I was like 3, so
okay.
I don't even really remember.
Yeah.
But so Florida,
But you get to say you're from Jersey.
I do. I
born.
Except I grew up in New York, so like New
Yeah.
Yorkers hate me saying that I'm
Yeah.
from New York, but Jersey people hate me saying that I'm from Jersey.
Yeah, you can't win.
Can't win. Yeah. So we played a lot of board games more so.
Ooh, what's your favorite board game?
Probably Uno.
Uno? Is that a board game or a card game?
I mean, it's a card game.
Uno ruins relationships.
I am a master of
You know
Uno.
who's big on Uno, and I didn't know this was like a whole thing, but like I always played Uno and stuff, but like I'm white, obviously. But so many of my like Latin friends, Uno is huge in the Latin community.
that.
Latin people back me up on this or tell me I'm wrong. But Uno is like, it's like they take Uno fucking seriously. And I have so many friends and they're like, let's fucking play Uno. And like to me, Uno was like, a game you played as a kid. Whatever. It's like Battleship. It was like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, yeah. But they're like, no, like this is like.
That's how I am about Uno.
You don't mess
Very
around.
passionate. No, I actually like win every game in Uno. I don't play.
Let's play a game of Uno.
I have it. Yeah. We'll do it. Also, I really like Mancala.
Okay, that's the one with like the little marbles.
And the
I remember
board.
playing that.
Yeah.
I remember playing that.
Yeah, but I feel like I really didn't watch like I haven't seen all the Disney princess movies and stuff that everybody grew up watching. I don't know why.
Have you been following the Snow White stuff at all?
No.
So they're making like a new Snow White.
Okay.
And I'm chronically online. Obviously, take a look at me. That's gonna be the theme of today. Just take a look at me. Dorothy knows what's going on behind the scenes, but I am doing real good. She's out here in the Hamptons. I met her partner today, who's a phenomenal person. But I showed up and they were all like chilling. They all looked like gorgeous and rich and chilling. And I show up and I'm like, "Hi, everybody." What was I saying?
The
Board
Snow White.
Oh, Snow White. So I'm chronically online. They've been hating on the actress playing Snow White right now.
Okay.
But like I think people just always want to find like a reason A. But with all the strike stuff going on and like I guess people are upset because like her and the cast have like in the internet's opinion been like shitting on Snow White. They're like, we wrote it. It's antiquated. Like Snow White doesn't need no man to save. And everyone's like upset. And I see both sides. I see people who are upset because it's like, why change a story that's like people already love and is already there? Like, why not just write another story? Like, why do that? But then I see the other hand where it's like, well, who says that like these like traditional stories have to look at these and like look at the Little Mermaid like
instead of evolving?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, who says Ariel has to look that way? Like she's a fucking mermaid.
Yeah.
But Snow White, it's like, oh, like I understand like the whole thing. Like, skin is white as snow. But I think what has been triggering people more has been that a little bit, but everyone, like the whole cast, it seems like, I mean, according to this soundbite, it seems like they like hate Snow White, and they've been shitting on it, and people have been getting upset about it.
Huh.
And
I've been a little out of the loop.
Well, you've been living your life. You've been traveling.
I have, and I
catch everybody up.
Yeah. Well, I
doing?
also quit consuming. I told you, pretty much mostly just TikTok, but I don't really care for the other stuff so much. So I quit consuming.
That's awesome.
Social media for the most part, and I have to say, really enjoying it.
I'm trying to get there. I've been trying to do better at night of just like setting my phone down and leaving it. But like I'm so addicted, man. Like between that and like talking to people and
it's
like
a lot.
It's like
it hooks you in. Yeah, I just I cold turkey, but it's funny, I mentioned it in one of my TikToks the other day and I encouraged other people to do the same, and there was so many comments of people being like, but if we stopped consuming TikTok, you wouldn't have a job.
Yeah. I think about, so how has that affected like your content? Like,
it's interesting because it does force me to be a bit more creative as far as like coming up with more things.
Right. You can't just be like, oh, this is
scrolling and finding trends. But I also told like my community that if they ever see certain things they feel like makes sense for me to do, to just tag me, and that way I can check tags directly.
I'm trying to get there.
But I also, there's like a couple people like you and like a couple other actor style similar content, and I just go direct to their page page,
Got it.
and I'll see what stuff they've done, and I can pull inspiration.
Got it. Well, what I did for the longest time, and I feel like this was unheard of, like when I would hear other people talk about TikTok, is I would spend more time on my following page than my For You page.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now I just feel like it's all going to shit. And like, I mean, how do you feel? Like views and stuff are all over the place, and like.
Yeah, I find TikTok just likes me sticking to my thing that it knows that I do well. And for me, it's like my encouraging videos and my funeral POVs.
Yeah.
TikTok's like, we love these, 6 million views. And then I'll be like, I'm trying to incorporate more beauty content into my stuff because there's major brand stuff when it comes to like beauty content. So I'm trying to incorporate that in more. And TikTok's like, settle down, girlie.
Yeah.
You've never done this before.
Same thing with me. Like I'm trying to like, because I've been posting more vlogs on YouTube and trying to do more long form, and it just totally flops. And then I feel like with TikTok is like, if you have like a string of bad videos, they'll just like classify you in that realm. And like, I don't know, I've been trying to adopt more of like an overall inclusive look to social media rather than like what each specific platform is doing. But I don't know, it's probably like a thing, like a mental failing that I probably feel stagnant in my life. So then I like project
it does
that
carry
onto
over.
my,
It totally does. Yep. I feel that. On to the next weird question.
So Dorothy's doing great. Zach's getting there.
If you... Oh, do you want to go?
If you do. So
we'll
I
go back and forth.
I asked ChatGPT to like ask us a bunch of stuff. So I gave it all of our socials. I gave it all our things, and I was like, give us like relevant questions. Unfortunately, it can't watch YouTube videos. I was like, hey, watch our previous podcast.
Okay.
So it's like they're kind of AI-y. Okay. So maybe it's not good, but I'm just gonna pick one.
What you got?
Celebrity encounters. Discuss hilarious or bizarre encounters with famous people. Have you? Or have you ever even like met a famous person?
Yeah.
This got probably like weird for us because like we work in the space.
Yeah, I know. I hate to be a name dropper.
Do it though. Unless you don't want to. If you're not doing it because you feel like it's obnoxious, do it. If you're not doing it because chances are you'll like run into them again, then we can go into another question.
No, yeah, I'll give one specific. So no, I have met quite a few people, particularly because I worked at a diner that celebrities would frequent. So
really? They'd go to the Mel's and were you in the Hollywood one?
Yes. Mel's Drive-In on Sunset Boulevard, and
I've always thought about going, but like, yeah, you were like, it's gross, and I was like, I'm never gonna go.
It's like trash diner food, but it's known for being like a place that celebrities go.
Yeah.
They have like all the photos of all the people there, whatever. So a lot of them go, and I used to serve a lot of different people. A pleasant scenario was Selma Hayek I had met.
Oh, she's so good looking.
She is, and she was really funny, and she kept trying to buy cigarettes off of my manager that night, which I thought was just like really funny. So that was.
Did he have cigarettes?
I think she did. I think she did end up buying a cigarette off of her.
Oh, I would have just given it to her. Why'd she make Selma pay?
I don't know. That was a funny manager though. She was a quirky lady.
It.
But yeah, and then I would say like my worst interaction was actually with Drake's father.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know what his name is actually. But,
yeah. I think just Drake's dad works.
Yeah, you all know, but he's like the creepiest man on the planet. And I actually used to see him. He was a regular. Like he would come in almost every single night or every other night. And I also, when I used to go clubbing a lot, I would see him at the clubs too. And I would try to because he knew me, I'd try to avoid him. And I would always try to get other people to serve him because he was very creepy with the ladies in general. So if I got his table, I would just give it to somebody else, and he'd come up and be like, Dorothy, are you trying to get rid of me? He doesn't talk like that, but that's just kind of like, yeah. And you know, girls, like, they know he's Drake's dad. And so in their head, they're like, I'm going to get Drake. Yeah. So he's having them.
Drake's just like,
he's like totally, disconnected. So he has like all these young girls like sitting on his lap and stuff in the diner, and I'm like, these girls are just trying to have. It was a weird,
gosh,
yeah.
I don't think I've actually had any like celebrity interactions really, or like negative ones. I met back when I used to be a waiter. I met one of my like favorite kind of like what I would consider like a working actor.
Okay.
You ever watched a show called Better Off Ted? It was like a cult hit. She's also done stuff in Modern Family. I should look up her name. I'm forgetting her last name. It's like Andrea something. But I like was working at this this like gelato coffee restaurant. It was like a one-stop shop. It was like counter service, but it was like we were in Toluca Lake, so it was like kind of ritzy, and we were like right across the street from like Warner Brothers.
Okay.
So we would still like, even though it was counter service, you would still have someone like come and wait on you, and like come talk to you and like fill up your stuff. So I was going around and I like recognized it, but I didn't know from where. And I was like, do I know you from somewhere? And then I could tell she was an actor because it was like, you ever hanging out with your friend who's not an actor and they get so excited? And she's like, yes, she's so famous. And I was like, and I don't know why I asked this, like, because usually I'm not this person, like, as an actor, but I was like, oh, what have I seen you in? And like, that's the worst thing you can ask somebody, like, especially most of us working actors. Like, I had somebody, it was like a dating app interaction because I'm on the apps and like trying to do that. And they were like, oh, you're an actor. It's like, what have I seen you in? And I'm like, you tell me, man. Like if I was recognizable, I would not be here talking with you. You know what I mean? Like, I would not be on Hinge.
Not be on the apps.
Yeah, I would not be on the apps. Like, I would just like walk into wherever the heck. And they were like, oh, well, look, I'm doing a stint on Modern Family right now. And da-da-da. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, like right on. Da-da. And then I left and I went on my break. And then I started like looking her up, and then it was Better Off Ted, which is one of my favorite shows. She plays like the love interest. And then I walked up to her and I was like, I figured it out. She's like, wow. I was like, Better Off Ted. And then we had that connection moment of like, and that's what I would appreciate as an actor, is like someone appreciating my work. Yeah. But also, I'm blanking on his name. I'm so bad with names. But you know the guy from Psych, the black guy?
No.
Well, the guy from Psych, and then also he did a stint on Suits. Same thing. I saw him there. Recognize him, but like this time I was better. I was like, it's so annoying to walk up to actors and be like, oh, da, 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 da. Yeah. But I was like, I know as an actor, there's a way to make someone feel appreciated when you're a genuine fan without bothering them. Yeah. And so I just started having like a quick conversation while I was like filling up their waters, like with his wife. I was like, how are things going, man? He's like, oh, good, good, good. I was like, yeah, anything exciting that you're like working on that you're stoked about? He's like, yeah, a couple of things. And I was like, well, hey man, like I know I speak for everybody. Like we're really looking forward to like whatever you got next. Yeah. And like, I don't know the way I phrased it or whatever, like it was like not intrusive. Yeah. And it was like, I know who you are, but like, I'm not trying to bother you. And like, I could just tell, like, this sounds like such a brag, but like, they were like, so like his wife was so happy. And like, even when they were leaving, like I was working, but they came back in to be like, oh my God, goodbye.
Aw, that's sweet.
So I haven't had any bizarre ones, but I've had some
sweet. Yeah.
I've had some positive ones.
Sweet interactions.
Yeah.
I like that.
So if you see an actor and you like them, like especially if they're famous, like try not to bother them because they get it all the time. But there are ways that you can like make it known that's like, hey, like I enjoy your work. Yeah. Like please keep going. That's not like, can I get a photo? Or like, are you the guy from blank? You know, like it's just not gonna be good.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that was an okay AI.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I've got one for you. Okay. If you could use magic to do one mundane task for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Okay, you tell me if this is mundane or not. Because I also have a question that I almost asked you. It was like dream superpowers, but I like the mundane one. I would love the magic trick or superpower to just anytime I like lost something, I immediately know where it is. Oh. So like, but the thing is, it's like, it's not like I could figure out where everything is lost in the world. It's just be like, where are my keys? And the second I go like, where are my, I know immediately.
You lose things a lot?
Yeah. Oh. And it's funny because I have a small apartment and it's like 700 square feet. And I'm like, where did this thing go, dude?
Interesting. That's a good one.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, I think more about like tasks that I don't enjoy doing. I'm a little torn between putting bedspread back on because, like, you know what I really hate is putting the duvet back.
Oh, do you know the California roll?
What is that?
I got to teach you this. So you lay your like duvet down, and then you take your duvet cover and you flip it inside out, and then you put it on top. You put it on top. Yeah, you lay it on top of it flat, and you keep the open end at the foot of the bed, and then you get on top of it, and then you start rolling it up like together, both the things, roll it all the way up. You want to keep the edges touching, and then when you get to the end, this is like a lot to explain, but like if you just look at the video, it makes sense. Yeah. When you get to the end, you reach through the duvet cover, and you grab the end of the duvet, and you pull it through, and you do that on both sides, so it kind of looks like an unwrapped burrito, and then you just pick it up and you shake it, and it's all done.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I've been doing the inside out method where you have it flipped out and then you just grab like the ends and I'm like shaking it until it just flows out and whatever. But that and just like putting sheets, because I have my bed up against the wall, so like climbing over and putting, you know.
This is the first time in my apartment that I've had enough space that my bed is like not touching a wall. Yeah. And it's nice.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's nice, but I'm still rocking a full size. Yeah. Are you a queen?
I am a queen.
We all knew.
In bed and spirit.
Yeah, we all knew. We all knew.
But yeah, that or maybe dishes.
Oh, I love dishes. It's like kind of therapeutic.
You know?
I hate laundry.
Yeah?
I hate folding. Shoot me in the face.
I'm not a folder.
I fucking hate it.
I don't.
That's how I know when a relationship is going to be compatible. If they're like, oh no, folding's relaxing. And I'm like, I'll clean. I don't mind fixing stuff. Like my sink fucked up the other day.
Are you like a handyman?
Yeah, I like to try. So like, you know, I don't know if it's the way I was raised or whatever, but like, you know, if something breaks, like I'm going to try to begin with. Especially my building, like it's rent controlled. Like I know the maintenance guy. It's not like a formal kind of thing. It's like, you know, if he's working on mine, like then he takes care of the whole building. I see. I like to. So like, you know, I started with the plunger. I did the ice down the disposal. I did the boiling water. I did the vinegar and the baking soda. Then I actually like took apart the pipes at the bottom of the catches, and then I snaked them. And then at that point, it still wasn't working. And then I was like, this is a plumbing issue. But I was actually on TikTok live while I was doing it. I don't know why I was doing it. I was setting myself up for failure. Seems like a lot. Yeah, and like it was only like an hour. But I'm a pretty chill person. But then like towards the end, because you know how on these live streams, like you get the same 5 messages over and over. Yes. So I was getting the same advice over and over and over and over. Yeah. And so eventually I just started to ignore it because people were like, have you tried vinegar and baking soda? And I was like, yes, I've been doing this for an hour. And then one person out of nowhere, and usually I like do not care. They were just like, ignoring our advice. Typical man. And I was like, banned. You're out of here. That's so blatantly sexist. Like, you got to go. But that's how I can tell that like I need to do some like internal work is like when these live streams like when
they get under your skin.
Yeah, when they're getting under my skin, it's like, brother, like shut the fuck up, dude. Like nobody cares. Like you're literally streaming for 100 people right now.
Have you dealt with, because now on TikTok it's a funny thing for people to do all these like stupid little trends that are trending on the thing to people on live streams. So
like Short King or what? Because when people come in, they're like, short king, I just run with it. I'm like, fuck yeah, I am the king.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I imagine it's probably very different for guys and girls. For me, it's been fix your lashes. I get like 100 plus people that come in a day and they're like, fix your lashes, girl. Love you, girl. Fix your lashes. Wow. But it just for me, I'm like, it's just not like a funny one. You could be more creative than that. Because like for me, I'll be like,
people come and be like, I love your wig. Where'd you get your wig?
Oh, I get that one a lot.
And I'm like,
your wig looks so good.
Yeah.
Did you have it when people were doing they would take a screenshot of your face and then put it as their profile
That never happened to me, but that's so funny.
I got that a lot.
The guy comes on my For You page where he does that. He like takes a screenshot, but then he like goes into that app where you can like change your appearance.
Add like
and
glasses
he slightly changes it. And then he's like, bro, are we brothers? And then it's like people freak out. Yeah. It's so good.
And my thing is I would see it before, like I would see those videos and then people would come in and try it on me and I'd be like, you want me to roll with it for the punches, but I'm not going to give you any good material here. I
had one and then I lost it, but it's one of these.
I've got a filler if you need.
What is the funniest or most embarrassing text you've ever sent to the wrong person?
Oh, I got it.
Or it could be like a DM. Like
I know, I've got a good one. Yeah. I've got a good one.
I'm glad we took the second to find it.
Yeah, usually I'm not good at remembering specific things like that, but I'll never forget it because it was one of those moments you're like, oh my God, I sent that to the wrong person. I was like, this was many, many moons ago. I was sort of you're not like really dating somebody, but you're kind of like seeing them or whatever. and I wasn't really, whatever. We weren't that serious.
Yeah.
And I was texting one of my girlfriends, and I texted a photo of like, I think some celebrity guy that I thought was cute.
Yeah.
And I was like, him, like he's perfectly my type.
No. Yeah.
And I sent it to the guy. And I pulled the most middle school response ever. I was like, oh my God, my friend had my phone.
Nice. Did he buy it?
I mean, I think he acted. He was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was
They're like,
weird.
oh no, I've been hacked. We've all been there.
Yeah. Felt a little bad for that one. It's definitely, I can't imagine being on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
This other girl is totally my type.
Yeah. That's pretty bad. I feel like that's happened to me before, where like I think I've sent a screenshot of a conversation with someone back to them, but then you just got to play it off like, hey, are you getting all my messages? This is what I've got. It's pretty good, right?
That's a good one.
No, my most embarrassing one, or at least the one I can think of right now, is I have this friend, this like actor friend, and they're really great. I really admire them. They're like pretty successful. But I'm kind of known for, I try to protect my peace, especially on like Instagram. Now it's a little bit different, but like when I didn't have a lot of followers, like, and I wasn't feeling good, like, you know how sometimes you just see like a friend and like they're posting all the time and you're just like, I can't be seeing this every day.
Yeah.
You know, like I love you, but like I don't need to be seeing like, you know, either like you going on trips or whatever. It was when I was like not at a great place. And it's like, I was like spending too much time online as per usual. And so for me, like I kind of enjoy the mute function. Like I'll mute friends' stories, not their posts, and just be like, cool, just because I can't control how frequently I see it. Be like, I love you, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
And so I was chatting with a friend of mine, and I had went on their bio, and I had noticed that they changed their bio to a quote, a song that I had shared with them. So I took a screenshot and I sent it. I was like, oh, so glad you like the song. I didn't realize, though, it shows when you have them muted. So it was like their name, and it was like muted, and I sent it, and I sent it, and like immediately I clicked unsend, but they had just so happened to check it. So it's like they saw it and then unsent it, and then
is even worse.
And then, but the thing is, I didn't know they had seen it. So as soon as I unsent it, I went back to their profile, unmuted them, took another screenshot, and then sent that. And they were just like, they were like, "Wow, you are so fake." And then I just had to be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, it's not personal. I actually mute most people on this app. Like, I just am like, I'm just not interested in like people's stories, really." And like we're still friends, but like we used to talk a lot. And, like, we have not, like, hung out since then. And, like, they're busy and they travel and stuff. But, like, now we do not speak.
Homicide.
Yeah. And I just had to come clean. I was just like, yeah, sorry. It's, like, not personal. And they were fine. Because it's like, what do you say? They were like, yeah, no worries. Because, like, I personally wouldn't be offended if my friend was like.
Oh, I would not at all.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, totally. Like,
I'd mute me too.
Yeah, like, totally. Especially, like, if you're posting a lot. But, like, I was just like. I don't know what it was. I think I was just being a little bitch, and I was just like, I see that you're successful and having fun, and I love you, but like, I was like, I just don't want to see it like several times a day.
Yeah.
But that was pretty embarrassing, and I still think about it.
Damn. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and we're still friends, but we don't speak.
Yeah. No, that's
Maybe
hard
we're not
to.
so friends.
That's
yeah.
That's a weird one to come back.
You know, this person was interesting because like I like kind of had a crush on them for a little bit. And it was like one of those moments where I thought like maybe something would happen, but like I think I kind of like fumbled a little bit because we were like gonna hang out, and I like canceled kind of last minute because I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
And then like I could never get them to like agree to hang out again. So like I think I just put my, this was years and years ago, but I think I just like put my foot in my mouth, and they were like, all right, dude, like goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing, huh?
It just kept going.
Yeah. Listen, when I fail hard.
Unsend,
Yeah.
the resend with the new photo.
Yeah. I should have it would have been better if I just left it. And they would be like, oh, I'd be like, oh yeah, I mute everybody. It would like that would have been more, but it was the unsend and the resend, and they were like, you're fucking fake, dude. And I was like, honestly, you're right. In this moment, that feels fake.
Oh my gosh. If you had a pet parrot, what would you teach it to say?
Bitch better have my money. Don't act like you don't know me. Like, imagine every time you walk to the door, Parrot's just like, bitch, where's my money. Hey, bitch, better have my money. And then it'd just be like, bitch.
Teaching a parrot cuss words would probably be so fun.
But you'd regret it forever.
Yeah.
What about you?
Honestly, I didn't even think this through. I definitely think teaching it cuss words would be the funniest possible thing to do. Or just to have it say, like, fuck you. Like, imagine.
Or even the C word.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Because it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to get mad at a parrot? And if people ask, I'll be like, oh, he's from Australia.
He's an Australian parrot.
That's their F word. That's their filler word.
It is.
Some of these AI ones are like really deep.
Oh, yeah?
What's the most meaningful compliment you've ever received, and why did it touch you? Or it could be like a compliment you received recently that like.
I have a good one. Yeah, I think the most meaningful thing I ever received from like mostly from people that watch my content is when people tell me I saved their life.
Oh yeah.
Or save them from like a really toxic relationship.
Yeah.
I
know I told you my mother like loved that. The whole thing. I was like, you are Ma? Like you've been with Dad for like 30 years, but like
is there more to Dad than
are there some things that you want to get off your chest?
But yeah, I mean that brings tears to my eyes every time.
Yeah, mine's the same. Especially now that I do this work with Quinn. So if you guys aren't familiar, I work with this like autoerotica app. It's led by women. Like their whole purpose is like to create like a safe and comfortable space, not just for women, but for non-binaries, for everyone. Anyone that feels like mainstream like porn like doesn't fit them. And it's really fulfilling work because, you know, and I just did an audio like every like 2 months I basically do kind of what we're doing. I do like basically like a saucy podcast episode, like talk back. It's like one of the few times that I can like interact with them. And you know, I'm a big belittler of myself. Like, as you know, like we're just, I don't know if it's Italian or Irish or whatever. And so I'm like, well, you know, like, you know, I'm making smut and like, yeah, like I do my best to like have creative stories that are like engaging and like, you know, they brought me on as an actor. So I'm like, oh no, like let's make this like a juicy like story that people will enjoy. But I get so many comments from people that are like, hey, like this really like helped me like unpack my own sexual trauma or feel comfortable, or like I now can have more deeper conversations with my partner. And so like I get so many comments like that there of being like, yeah, for the first time, like I feel like seen and heard, whatever. And I'm like, damn,
yeah,
that's deep. But in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm making like moaning videos, you know? And like not all of them are explicit, but it's like, you know, that's the little antagonist in my head. That's like, you'll never make it. They just want you for your pretty boy moans. No, but then I'm like, well, no, I also have like 6-part series where it's like, you know, it's me and like I'm home for the holidays and my brother's new partner is my ex. And like, we have like really deep and like intense, like emotional conversations and da-da-da. And I'm like, all right, well, at least I'm like flexing that a little bit. But those are the compliments that I receive where it's like, where they're like,
it's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good. What was the weirdest thing you wanted to be when you grew up?
You know, I feel like I never wanted to be anything growing up.
Yeah?
Like I never had an answer. I was like, what do you want to be? And looking back, I think it's because I wanted to be an actor. But I think I like expressed that at like a young age and was met with just like harsh rejection, which back then was probably not harsh rejection. It was probably just adults being like, well, if you decide to do that, it's like very difficult. But I never really had like I was never the guy who had a passion. And even when I like decided, like I always loved acting, but I was like, I don't need to try to make money off of it. I really just decided to do it because I realized there was like nothing else I wanted to do. So like, is that kind of sad? I feel like I'm not like I'm a passionate person, but I'm not a man with passions. But maybe I am because I've like dedicated my life to this at this point. But I was never like the kid that was like, this is what I want to do. This is it. Like, da-da-da.
Did you feel that way when you like kind of did acting for the first time? You were like, this is...
I think what I loved, so my first like experience with acting was like improv. And that really clicked with me because like, I think I like to be funny. Like if people ask like, what's your favorite thing about yourself? Or like, what do you hang your hat on? Like, what do you pride? And like, for me, it's my humor. And like, yes, I'm a very pretty boy, but like, I wasn't always this way, but so funny humor was where, and like my friends and my family, like we all like praise like wit and banter and quickness. So improv, I was like, wait, this is the best of everything. Like it's making me be witty. It's like performing. You have to be like very smart and on top of things. Like you kind of you got to know how to like write and structure things. Yeah. So really it was just like playing like silly little improv games, and I got to make people laugh. Yeah. And that's like my favorite thing in the world. Yeah. That's good. What about you? What did you want to be?
I wanted to be everything. Yeah. Every week it was like something new that I was fully dedicated, like that. I'm going to be a surgeon. And then it was like a detective. But the weirdest one that I wanted to be was very specific. So, during Christmas time, when you're at the mall and there's always those people that sell ornaments and they'll write your family's name really pretty on the ornaments. Yeah. I don't know what it was. At some age, I saw that and I was like, that's what I'm going to be when I grow up. The pretty penman lady that writes Christmas ornaments.
I love that. I think I wanted to be like an astronaut for a second. Yeah? But I feel like everybody does. Like when you're a little kid.
I don't think I ever had a desire to be an astronaut, but...
I think everybody... Not me.
Not
you
me,
freaking liar. Did we talk about pet peeves last time?
I feel like we did.
Okay, let's not.
Is there a... Yeah.
Guilty pleasure movies. Discuss movies that you secretly love but know are not critically acclaimed.
Oh. Secretly love?
Or just a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 movies that I rewatch. I'm not a rewatcher.
Twilight.
Okay, well, I have rewatched Twilight once, which is a terrible movie that's so good. It's so bad, it's good.
It really is.
You have to just watch it as satire. But... No, a Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I don't even think that can be considered a guilty pleasure. That's just a pleasure.
Yeah. I've seen that movie though probably a guilty amount of times. Okay. I would say it's like when I'm sad,
it's guilty
I watch
the
Mamma
amount
Mia.
of times you've watched.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. You know how like a new girl when every time she gets her heart broken she watches Dirty Dancing and just like cries. Yeah. That's me with Mamma Mia.
I like how you said cry. You emoted there.
Because that's how she is in that episode. So
this is where we lost the majority of our audience. It's like, yeah, I really like them, but they started just yelling. Yeah. Streetcar Named Desire. What a weird one. Did you have to read that in high school too?
Of course. I think it was actually in college.
I can't believe it's like such a critically acclaimed thing, and it's about grape.
Yeah.
Spoiler: Streetcar Named Desire, Marlon Brando, grapes, Blanche. That's like the whole thing. He's like a shitty husband. He treats his wife poorly. She's pregnant. Yeah. Her like sister, who is like, I don't know what her deal is, but she's like the whole time she's like this close to a mental breakdown. Yeah.
I feel like when, at least in acting college, when you read because they have you read all like the classic plays. Most of them are like super traumatic. They're all like these playwrights.
Was this just the first time somebody decided to write this down and we're like art? And I'm like, brother, I don't need this trauma in my life.
Yeah, it'd be so interesting to see. I haven't read more modern like plays now that are maybe coming out more recently. I wonder how many people are still writing like.
Oh, there's lots of playwrights.
Yeah.
I just went to a show. It was so bad. I went with my manager. It was like the premiere, and it was at like, I forget some theater in like West Hollywood. Yeah. And like there's still modern playwrights, but it was so bad. It was like the whole thing. It was such like an LA circle jerk. Like it was about a playwright. It was a playwright writing about his like beginnings in like the 90s theater in LA. And it's like, it seemed like they were all just throwing out names that they all like knew. And it was like, there was like just like out of nowhere, like gay sex would pop up, which is like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm fine with gay sex, but it would just go from like a total normal conversation to, hey, can I have your underwear? Oh, like it was just so weird. And it's like, yeah. And it just didn't make any sense, but there are still playwrights doing their things.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any more like very
modern. Like Sarah Rule. She's like a very famous modern playwright. Mm-hmm. She did like the Vibrator play, Dead Man's Cell Phone, yeah, A Quiet Room.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
DIY disaster. Talk about attempts at a DIY project that went hilariously wrong.
Do you have one off the top of your head? I'm thinking.
I don't know if it went wrong, but like I have this shelf. You know this shelf that's like above my television in my house? It's like I have like a 6-foot long shelf. And I don't know why. This is like my first time hanging up shelves, I guess. And like my apartment is like such an old building, so like the studs are like not properly like spaced out or like even exist. And the wall, it's like each wall has like is like different. Like some walls like you have this much before you get to the drywall, sometimes this much, whatever. So it just took me like 2.5 days to hang up the shelf. And I don't know why I attached the brackets to the shelf and then was trying to like put the shelf up on the wall instead of putting the brackets up and then doing it. And it's a 6-foot shelf. So I'm like holding it above my head like this and like trying to like screw it in. And I like really wanted it to be level. So I bought one of those like laser levels that you like puncture into the wall.
Okay.
And so I got it perfectly level. It took me 2 days. There's so many holes in my wall. And I had to keep trying different things because it was like it had to be load bearing. And so then I had to get toggle bolts and it's like all this whole thing. Finally, I get it level. I sit down. It's crooked. And I'm like, there's no way. And I got so upset because it took me so long. Turns out, though, my ceiling is not level. So like my ceiling is like ever so slightly like this. So when I put something perfectly leveled next to it, you could tell. And I was just like, ugh. So next time you're in my apartment, look underneath any of the shelves and there's just like a mess of holes underneath.
Interesting. So something I shouldn't be proud of, but kind of am, is that I cannot be bothered to ever do any of the things that you just said, like finding the studs, making sure it's
better
level.
To just hire somebody.
No,
I've got it.
I should do that.
I'm like, I can do this. I'm a man.
So I feel like I know I've seen on the internets that a lot of girls do the same thing. So I know you guys are here with me, but let's say like I have a shelf. You measure it with your hands. Measure it with your hands. You're like, okay, this is where the shelf is gonna go, and then you just like with the wall.
One of those.
Put the stuff
and you're like,
and you just pop it.
You're pretty good at hanging things. Everything looks good here.
Look around. Everything looks and that is all just by the eyes and by the whim. And honestly, I've never had anything come out like drop because it wasn't like attached to a stud or anything like that. I will say, however, I tried to hang, I had like a cat post.
Yeah.
I was trying to put in that room. But for some reason, whatever wall I had chose, like was impossible to, I don't even know. Yeah. And I kept attempting. So like you were saying, holes everywhere in that room. There's just like a series of several holes that
it might just be like concrete on the back.
Something that, can't even be but yeah, eyeballing it. Can't be bothered to take the steps necessary.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if we had any comments that we could read or like had questions.
I don't know. Thought I had remembered somebody said something, but
I remember there being like one question as well.
Yeah. I don't know. What's your favorite thing to do when you're bored?
Eat.
Oh, amen to that.
Have you had any like stupendous meals lately?
Stupendous?
Yeah.
Stupendous meals lately.
Well, you were like traveling and stuff. Do you have any like really good?
Just like a New York bagel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because you would get those like shipped in and stuff. Right?
Yeah. So when I moved to Los Angeles, I started shipping there's bakeries in New York that will overnight you bagels.
Yeah.
And I started doing that by a few dozen because if you know, it's in the water.
They say it's because of the water.
It's the bread there. It just can't be topped. So yeah.
Any irrational fears?
Combustion.
Like you're just afraid that you're gonna
not
blow
me
up?
combusting.
Just things around you.
But like whenever like I use like an oven and I hear a weird sound, like I just feel like it's gonna be the day where it just boop explodes.
That's fair.
Yeah, or my car. I always feel like my car is just gonna. I'm just gonna be driving and it's just gonna explode.
I was afraid of horses for a long time.
Why? Did you have a weird experience?
I don't think so. It's just that first of all, they're gigantic.
They are. Very
and
large.
It's like if a horse kicks you,
game over.
You fall off, or they can bite off your finger. Also, everybody says that like horses sense fear. Like that's the thing. It's like when you go up to a horse, they're like, "Oh, don't be afraid. Like it'll freak out if you're freaked out." And I'm like, so if there's this giant like monster thing that could kill me, and you're telling me I can't have like a respectful fear, and then we just throw little girls on top of them. It's like literally we use horses as a measurement for how powerful our engines are. Like horsepower. Like it's like, so I'm like, you're telling me I'm not allowed to be afraid of the thing that is our measurement for how powerful we can like move in this world. And so like for the longest time, but you know, lately I've been kind of getting over that. And like, I feel like I've been watching more like TikToks with horses and like, you know, I talk to people who are like horses. It's like, you know, they're very intelligent creatures. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of beautiful. But I think really what pushed me over the edge was the Barbie movie.
Oh, I still haven't seen it.
You have to.
I know.
Why haven't you seen it?
I just haven't had the chance to go yet.
Okay, you need to. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Okay, next episode we'll talk about the Barbie.
Okay.
Barbie review next episode.
Yeah. Are we allowed to do that?
Review movies? Yeah.
Because I know people can't. I heard that YouTubers can't be reviewing.
Oh, because of the strike?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll look into that.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
I think as long as it's
if it's already out and done.
Yeah, my understanding is you're not allowed to promote anything. So I guess maybe review falls in that category.
Yeah, it is promotion.
But the thing is, it's like certain things are being approved by the strike. So from my understanding, it's like SAG. We just really want to make sure right now that like we're not benefiting like the AMTP, AMTAP, whatever. You guys know what I'm trying to say. But like we're allowed to like promote ourselves. And then there's also like fair use. So as long as we're like adding our own like kind of spin on it, it should be okay.
Have you gone horseback riding?
I think only when I was like a little kid.
Yeah. You think you'll ever try to get over your fear?
It also just seems like it would like really hurt my bits.
Oh. I don't know about that.
And like you got to like learn how to ride it properly. Oh, plus I saw a horse get put down once. Oh. I was at the racetracks, Del Mar racetracks. Oh. My parents went like every year for their anniversary. Was the last year we went. Oh. But we used to go every year for their anniversary because you know it's a fun time. Mm-hmm. And I remember because you can bet on horse racing at 18. Okay. And so once I turned 18, I think my like mom gave me like $100 and she's like, do whatever you want. And I put like $10 down. Yeah, I put $10 down on like a long shot, a 10-1, and it won. So I won like $100 and I was so stoked. Yeah. But then a horse's like leg got caught in like the fence or something. And then like when a racehorse, gets hurt or whatever, like they put it down. There's like I don't know what the logic is. I guess it's like cost effective or humane or whatever. And so they literally drive out into the horse track. They put up like a little tent around it, like almost like a changing tent, like just a giant 4-sided curtain. And then they freaking killed the horse. Wow. And it's like you could still kind of see because it's like windy and stuff. And so we left, and we have not been back since. But I was like, bro, this is kind of barbaric.
Horse experience.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, I feel like I'm gonna book a movie as like a cowboy or a horse or something, and I'm gonna fall in love with this horse, and then I'm gonna become a horse person. It's like you spend your whole life afraid and like, talking about
and then
something.
It just took that one.
Yeah.
To change the game.
If you had a horse, what would you name it?
I think it would depend on what color the horse was.
Okay, let's assume you have a beautiful white stallion with a beautiful mane, and he's very prim and proper.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
Okay, we'll circle back to that. I think I'd name mine Sylvester.
That's so specific. Mm-hmm. Why?
Just seems like a good horse name.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
feel like Sylvester would have to be like a little goofy horse.
Yeah, I feel like if I had a horse, he'd be a little goofy.
I used to be obsessed with Sylvester the Sylvester the like what cat the
is that who he is? Is that who he is? Is that
Sylvester? The cat? Isn't he a cat? Yeah.
I don't remember Sylvester Cat.
Yeah.
I remember Tom and Jerry.
No, Sylvester.
I don't remember.
Because I remember particularly I was at Disney. I was like so excited to see the version of Sylvester. It's the black and white cat, right?
Is it the romantic one? Or is that a skunk?
What the hell is Sylvester? And I thought he
that's
was a
Pepe.
Looney Tune, doesn't he?
I guess I could just look it up.
Yeah.
What, if you could become an expert in anything right now, what would it be?
Knowing every language.
Oh, that's a good one.
Totally. Yeah. You?
I feel like the stock market or something. Oh, this guy, yeah, with the little birdie.
Yeah. Was it Tweety?
Yeah, Tweety
Okay,
Bird.
so I was obsessed with Tweety and Sylvester. I was going to get a tattoo of Tweety Bird on my ankle.
That'd
Thank
be good.
Goodness I did not. But yeah. Did you have any ridiculous tattoo ideas at any point that you're glad you never went through with?
I have no tattoos. Do you have any?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I just never got around to it with the whole acting thing.
But was there any that you were like...
Not ridiculous. Well, that was part of the reason I didn't get it for the longest time is because I was like, I need something very important.
Yeah.
But I almost got like, you know the scene in The Lion King where they're singing like Hakuna Matata and they're like walking across the log and they're like growing up?
Yeah.
I thought about getting that scene.
Yeah.
But then the Starry Night, I would like get like, I shouldn't give, if someone gets this tattoo, I'd be so mad. But it was like them, like, you know, when like Simba's like, you know, either a teenager or grown up or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then the background constellations, I would make it like hyper realistic.
Ooh.
And like really like fine like point work.
Ooh.
With like cosmos and stuff.
That sounds nice.
You ever watch Fairly OddParents?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know how it ended? I've totally forgot about this, but then saw a TikTok the other day. I'm going to spoil Fairly OddParents for everybody, but it's been out for like 15 years. Yeah. The whole time, Timmy at some point had wished to stop aging. So he was like in his 50s. And nobody knew. And then at the end, it was like revealed. Like, you know how there was like the court of fairies and he gets, you know, Da Rules, the big book. Yeah, it turns out at some point he had like made a wish that he would like never age so he could stay with his fairies and then wish for like nobody to be able to figure it out. And so he was like in his 50s by the end of it or something like that.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. We have Cosmo and Wanda in the room with us right now. If you're watching visually, the couch in the background.
Oh, I see. I was like, you and me?
No.
I was like, you're kind of more of like a Jessica Rabbit figure.
Yeah, not so much Wanda. But just the colors, because you know how people were doing that for a bit. They're like, hey, Cosmo, Wanda. Yeah. You have a favorite kind of cheese?
I really like pepper jack, and I like Munster.
Those are very sandwich answers.
Yeah.
I mean, I love so cheddar. Much of a charcuterie guy.
No, I love charcuterie.
Yeah.
But I don't like really funky cheese.
Okay.
I don't like that stank. I don't like that blue. I don't like that funk.
What was that thing you said? Name of your sex tape?
Yeah, title of your sex tape. I don't like that stank. I mean, that's fair. If you're like one of the worst experiences I feel like anyone can have is like you go to perform oral on somebody and it's just stank. What do they call it? Schmegma? You know that?
I don't know.
Schmegma means dick cheese. Has that ever happened to you? You don't have to share if you don't want. But I know that it's like I have had friends where they're like, no, I went to go, especially like uncircumcised guys, like if the hygiene's not there. So I've never had that experience, but I will say like, I think the first time I ever ate out a girl, ever, I think like maybe like now that I have more knowledge, like I think that maybe there was like some type of like UTI or like yeast or like pH thing. Cause it literally, I've never experienced this ever again. It like burned my taste buds, like almost like hot pizza. I like went to eat her out and then it like literally like singed my taste buds.
Oh.
Yeah. And I remember it being stanky, but I didn't have any experience. So I thought that's how all vaginas were. Oh. And so then I actually had to like, my next couple of partners, like in college and stuff, I was like kind of wary to like give oral, and I had to like unlearn that. Now I think it's so fun. Like it's so fun. But yeah, that stank.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Sorry if I doubt you're listening
So
to
no
this.
stanky cheese
Yeah.
for Zach.
No. Do you like the stanky cheese?
What's an example of the stinky cheese? Like blue cheese?
Yeah, blue cheese
blue
or like
cheese.
I guess like I don't know.
Medium rare steak with blue cheese crumbles. Yum.
Ooh. I don't mind like the crumbles if it's in other stuff, but like if someone's just trying to give me, I don't even really like brie. I don't mind it with some crackers, but like you know how people I like been seeing on TikTok where it's like it seems like it's just like diarrhea central, but like they'll just like put a bunch of cherry tomatoes and then put a block of brie on top and then drizzle it with honey and then they'll just bake it and they'll eat it, and I'm like that just seems like
I would do that.
horrendous.
I would definitely do that. My mom will bake brie with like a jam. On top.
I like it mixed with
but
other
yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I feel like with crackers I'm not eating like spoonfuls of brie.
Well, some people just like eat the cheese like with the charcuterie bread, like they'll just like
with the bread.
Yeah, but I feel like some people just like
Yeah. I love cheese.
Okay, should we ask more questions, or we'll probably be wrapping up soon?
I feel like we could come to
what's a good like? Should we have like? What did we do last time? Was it like a piece of advice for the audience? We did something to close it.
We did do something.
But I feel like we should. I feel like we should touch on something heartfelt or something, or like have a little bit of
spirit.
What's like a what's like a lesson you've learned recently, or like an epiphany or a thought or like something that's just like hit you recently that you wouldn't mind like sharing, like be like, oh yeah, that was impactful for me, like I'm gonna share that with the class.
Yeah, I think for me recently it's been, and this has been a progressive thing for a long time, but being more and more and more aware of how much the people you have around you make a difference on how you are. And I know we hear that all the time, but I think very rarely do we actually like really take it into play, and how powerful it can seriously be from detaching from certain people or spending more time with certain people that you feel like really lift you up or inspire you in certain ways. So I think for me, that's been my biggest focus.
That's a good one.
Lately. Yeah.
I feel like for me, and like I was comedically touching on it earlier, but like I've been working on like showing up for myself a little bit. I feel like I've been doing a little bit of showing up a little too much for other people, and kind of just like lost my way a little bit. And I did one of those like TikTok filter things, and it was like your quote of 2023 or like, you know, that kind of thing. And I got 2 different quotes from this book, so I'm going to buy it, called like Showing Up for Yourself. But yeah, I've been just working on like filling up my own cup so much that it overflows into those around me. Because I'm a big pourer outer. Like I love you. I know what you need. Like, here, please. But it's like you can't be doing that all the time. You can't just be a bleeding heart and like. So usually I'm pretty protective of my peace, but I feel like I went through a bit of a cycle of maybe missing that a little bit. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
I love it.
Also, just in general, like it's my birthday next week, and like birthdays are always like a bittersweet kind of thing, and like my brother's getting married, and like so there's just, it's been a time of transition. It feels like I'm on strike. I'm on strike, you know? Okay, well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
We love to have you here.
Thanks for watching, listening.
We know there was a bit of a gap in between these episodes, but we're gonna do our darndest to give you guys 2 episodes a month. We gave you 1 episode last month, so we're gonna do our darndest to give you 2 and stick to that. So feel free to follow us everywhere. We're GingerUnscripted.
GingerUnscripted.
Yeah, we're
everything.
We're everywhere you can think of.
Yep.
You can listen to this wherever you want.
Yep. Listen, watch, see clips, whatever your heart desires.
And drop some comments below if you have questions. I know that there were a couple comments on the YouTube video, but I don't think any of them were like questions.
Yeah.
So
should we tell people to leave us reviews too? I feel like that's a
thing.
Yeah.
Drop us a
leave
review.
Us reviews on Spotify.
On Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff.
Yeah. And if you drop us a follow on TikTok, so we could start doing live streams for you guys where we chat, because we got to get up there on TikTok
Yeah,
first.
you need 1,000 followers, but we would love to live stream. We could even live stream this process during the recording. But yeah, so for next episode, anyone that comments on YouTube, if you start your comment or anywhere in your comment, if you do all capitals question, we'll read it. We'll read it on next podcast.
Yeah. You will get featured in the next episode.
Unless your username is offensive.
Then we will not mention that.
We'll skip that part.
Very good.
Heck yeah. In a World with Rob Schneider. You know that where it's like, yeah. Rob Schneider is
in a world.
If you could snap your fingers and you would be incredibly successful in like one element of like what you want to do, but only that one element, would you do it? Like say like I would be very successful as like a beauty influencer or very successful as like a very specific type of actor. Would you do it? Or would you rather take your chances to see if you'd like reach the goals you want to reach?
Oh. But like if you choose that specific thing, you can't do anything. Yeah, you'd else. Only be
it'd be like
specific thing.
Not to call people out, but it'd be almost like the flow progressive lady.
Oh,
like you'd only get to do that.
Thing. Yeah. That's it. So I couldn't say like movie acting.
No, it would have to be so specific, like always the best friend in romantic comedies. Oh. It'd have to be like hyper specific.
And it could never change. You can't use
but you could pick anything you want.
Interesting.
Like I might take like comedic best friend in like B movies. Like I think I might take that. I'd be like, okay, well, like that's all I'd be known for, like whatever. That's not to say you couldn't do anything else, but like it would
I would definitely consider it for being like the lead villain in like
action movies,
like action drama.
Yeah, but it's only in Vin Diesel movies.
I do love Vin Diesel.
or you could choose like Dwayne the Johnson. Like I think I would honestly take it where it's like I'm always like fourth build in an Adam Sandler movie. Like I'm ranked underneath David Spade. But I think I might take it.
That's tough because I also know on one hand I have too many interests. But then that would also be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a neutral. I'm not sure.
We'll circle back to it. Okay, well, thanks so much for listening, everybody. Let us know any questions or feedback or constructive criticism. Yeah. And if you hated it, never speak to me ever again.
Yeah. Just kidding.
All right.
Until next time. And we out.
We're out. Good stuff.
Woo, woo.
That was...